Welcome to another episode of Latinos Who Thrive. I'm your host, Victor Escalante, and joining me today is my new co host that I'm going to introduce to you. This is our first episode of season 5. I have interviewed many people that I have brought you to understand the key to their success, the highs and lows, the journeys. No good story in the interviews that I have done with you for years is interesting if there is no pain or suffering or scaling up and overcoming some sort of obstacle. Let me tell you, my new co-host is a phenomenal woman. I've told you that we've lived in parallel universes, and just in talking about our past, we have confirmed how there's been parallel lines that we have lived through in our journey to find healing, to find inspiration, to find success, to help others, to help ourselves, and to always be striving to know what is it that I need to know next? What is it that I don't know? I know that I don't know, so what is it that I need to know? And of course, always having faith that whatever it is that we seek is going to find us, or we're going to know when it's right in front of us that that's what we've been looking for all of our lives. So without further ado, I introduce to you Leidiana Davila. Welcome to Latinos Who Thrive.
Thank you for having me, Victor. It's such a pleasure. I'm very excited for all the material that we have and everything that we're going to offer. You don't have any idea what this means to me, to pour out and share with the public all of our experiences. And I hope that this impacts many people.
One of the things that I tell my clients, Leidiana, and I know you can relate to this, is you have a PhD in what not to do with your life. You have a PhD in what not to do in business, okay? Now put it to use so that you don't make the same mistake over and over again. Now, I have several PhDs, and I'm sure you can relate.
I relate to it. Yes. Oh my God. Um, this journey, I say journey and a half. And it's
Absolutely.
been exciting. It's about leading, and it's not just driving towards success and going to achieve. It's enjoying the journey and getting there.
Leidiana, here's an interesting point that I've interviewed a lot of highly successful people, not only as a consultant to them, but I've also read and listened to many successful stories. And one of the things that I find fascinating that they say, and I'm going to reference Stephen King, the famous horror author. He said that when he hit his first success with the success of his first book, he said that I didn't know back then that the joy of the journey was more important than the destination. Because once you reach the destination, once you reach a plateau,
Yes.
you get bored, you get lost, you get distracted, and then you wonder, it's like, where do I go from here? And sometimes self-made millionaires think that, well, if I just make 1 million, then I'll be happy. Then I will have made it. They make the first million and they're just as empty as they are inside. But they fail to appreciate that the journey there is the enjoyment. The process of headed in that direction, overcoming obstacles is the enjoyment because you make your next 10 million. Then they think, well, if I make 10 million, then I'll be happy. Then I'll be fulfilled and satisfied. They make the 10 million, they still feel empty. I once worked
I've seen it.
I once worked with a billionaire, Leidiana,
Seen it. I
that
saw
had
that.
the Barbie doll wife. This was his second wife. 3 beautiful kids from his first wife. He had two planes and a media empire and a huge ranch. And again, he was empty and miserable inside, living in a constant state of depression. He credited me after working with him for giving him a backbone to say no to his kids, to his wife, to his partners that are always bringing him business deals that were not good in his interest, but he lacked the internal strength, the internal compass, the GPS to say, this is bad. I don't want to do this. He lacked that. And so, as a result of developing that congruency, that internal fortitude, that strength, he was able to start the journey of self empowerment and self determination.
I have experienced as well a lot of people in my life that they are in the top of their game and or they have achieved greater education than most people and they I seen them how miserable they are at the end because
Yes.
they didn't enjoy to get there.
Yeah.
And it's just like, now what? I'm miserable. I have not enjoyed the past 8 years because I've been focused on this.
I had one instructor that I told him his name was Lou. I'm sure he's deceased by now. I said, Lou, you're a perpetual student because you have four masters and now you're working on your fifth. It's like, when does it end? He got a big kick out of that because he thought that having more degrees was going to fulfill him, which it didn't. So again, this is an interesting topic, but enough about other people. I want to know about you, and I'm sure our audience wants to know about you. Tell us about your journey to become a business coach.
Wow. Well, it started at a very young age. I was a business owner at age 25. I was,
Okay.
that's when it started.
What kind of business did you have at such an early age?
Um, I was married at the time. We own a healthcare company.
Okay.
I've been in healthcare for over 28 years.
Okay.
And that's how I started. Right after that, we started with um, open another company in healthcare related to healthcare, and I had to step up in the game. We had a big recession. I don't know if you remember, 80s, 90s. It was a big recession.
I remember that. I remember that. I had just started work for a company and I was out to dinner with the company owner right after starting the company when the market crashed. and
Yeah, you
and
remember?
and everyone was in a panic about what was going to happen.
Yeah. So at that time, we had a healthcare company that it was struggling. Um, um, my partner at the time was did not had a lot of knowledge about marketing and he was losing a lot of money. So I went and opened another company that will bring to that company patients nationwide.
Okay.
So I came with this idea, how are we going to do this is not going well. So I advertised nationwide and relocating uh, seniors to different areas in the country, to different home cares and nursing homes nationwide. So at that time, I remember, oh yeah, oh my God, that I came with this idea. So I built a company and he looked at me because I fill his business with patients. And I started a journey of looking for ideas. And I think that all of the classes that I took about leadership and also was eager to learn more because I had very little resources, being married with children, being married to. So I started educating myself, taking classes. Um, And thank God that I had this ability of being very entrepreneurial that allowed me to help so we didn't go bankrupt. So I was very recognized in the community as an entrepreneur woman and Latina, you know, is
Okay.
not seen in that area. Like, oh my God, Latina. Um, so I was at the time married with a man from another country, from Europe, and very close minded. So that allowed me to grow faster, allowed me to grow faster. And and not only being able to care for my family, but run two companies at the same time. Um, in year 20, 2000, sorry, in year 2000, I went ahead and took a pause and come back stronger and build another company.
Okay.
So I started coaching with a big organization in California that I had been part of it for many years on leadership and coaching. So that gave me wings. I studied NLP. It was very important for me, um, in to study other languages that allowed
I started
me.
learning NLP. As you can see, I have several certifications all the way up to postmaster and a trainer. And I started studying NLP in 1985, and so since then I've been working at it. I've been working at it, and that has expanded me into studying at the feet of Milton Erickson's star student, Dr. Jeffrey Zeig, because NLP, borrows from Milton Erickson's work on hypnosis. I wanted to go straight to the source, and I went straight to it, to where I was able to really, really understand hypnosis and the trances that people live. We all live in a trance. If you are highly successful, you're living in a success trance. If you're highly miserable, you're in a miserable trance. And the power of NLP and hypnosis is you can change that trance. Now, listeners, if you are one of those kinds of people that are listening to us today, wherever you are, it doesn't matter where you are, just know that the power to choose where you want to be lies in your hands. You got to where you are today because of the choices or the lack of intelligent decisions that you made in the past that got you to here. Where you go from here, today, you are charting your future to be in 5 or 10 years at a totally different place, beginning by educating yourself to programs such as ours, by learning how your emotions and how your brain is wired to lead you in the right direction if you are following the leanings of your inner spirit. There is an inner spirit. There's a deeper wisdom beyond the logical mind, because the logical mind is a trap. I'm telling you for personal experience because I've been there. That's the ego.
The ego is that the one that keeps you from where you want to be in life in every level, in relationships, in business, thinking. And the ego will tell you you already know, you already are, you already know it all. And it's not like that. Being open to all possibilities. The information comes from sometimes the person that you least expected. I'm always learning, and I promised myself since I was very young that I would do two things: something that will nourish my spirit, a retreat, going in the mountains, whatever you want to. If you can go to Sedona and go to a center and learn techniques, will be wonderful. And the other one is leadership. Any class, take a class. Right now, I am in that season because the years is ending and I need to finish it. then I am taking a class and something that will only help me to improve and be a better business consultant and coach people and help people. So I always take about 3 months out of the year to study something that is only going to help me excel in my business, in my personal relationships.
All of that knowledge, all of that training that Leidiana and I have put ourselves through, we have spent literally a fortune to bring you this knowledge. Imagine where you and I would be, Leidiana, if somebody had grabbed us by the hand and say, Mijito, this is what you need to do. Okay. Do not believe all of the smoke and mirrors that people are going to give you about the different paths for your life and for success, because keep your feet on the ground, save your money, and go down this particular path. Where would you and I be, Ladiana?
I'm going to say share this with you with the public. I had invested to, I think over $1 million. And if I go with numbers in my education, and very good friend of mine pulled me down and said to me, you know, with all of that money that you spent in education and leadership and all of those trips that you're traveling, do things, you know, supposed to help you, but I don't see it, da da da. And I am the type of person that I don't really share my finances with anybody. And that's just the way I am. And she said, if you had invested all the money, you could have 2 houses in Marina del Rey in the water. And I say to her, and I say, yeah, you're probably right. But what I have learned and what I have studied, nobody can take it away from me. And with that I have learned, and I invested time and money, time and energy. Right now, I make over $100,000 a month just helping others. And I show her the check. I say, under my arm, I have very famous people that I work with, and I help them to be successful. And this is how much they pay me a month. And she couldn't believe it. It was just like, what? You never told me. Say yes. And so I just don't share that information. But when you have invested your expertise, I call it a divine intervention that just takes you places
Yes.
and brings people into your life. They are ready for you so you can help them to create whatever they want, anything they want. And if I have done it, and my clients have done it, anybody can do it. All it takes is for you to know that it's a possibility.
Listeners, Ladiana and I have worked on our egos. Okay. Those of you that know me personally, yes, you may have thought I was had a hard problem with my ego. I admit it. I own it. And through divine providence, I was humbled, and I was given a message to listen to what I didn't want to hear. And of course, the message is get rid of the ego, be led, and be humble. And so it's exciting to be on this new journey for me. And of course, Leviana has decades ahead of me in that regard. But so we are going to share with you a lot of the lessons learned. This is not about us bragging about what we've done. This is about giving you insight that we have been where you are, and we didn't let that stop us. We always kept searching, we always kept studying, we always kept seeking mentors. We always sought new knowledge, and as a result of that, this is how we got to where we are today. So, listeners, we met through a mutual friend and we spoke each other's language. And in a metaphoric way, we were singing each other's song. talk about that, Leidiana, how we just hit it off instantly and how we understood each other. We understood the deep metaphysical language and processes of evolving, of disconnecting from the ego. I had one teacher decades ago say, "Well, Victor, your ego this, your ego that." I said, "Try using a different word because ego was created by Freud, and Freud. If you haven't noticed, Freud is not too popular nowadays. I'm talking about back then, okay? When I'm talking to this teacher, uh, she says it's your shadow side. I said, okay, I can accept that. I can accept that now. I did a deep dive, Leidiana, into positive intelligence. That's the work of a gentleman at Stanford who's identified 10 different saboteurs that are all the defenses of the ego. The ego was created in us to help us survive. If you didn't have an ego, you wouldn't be alive. But the problem is that once you are of adult age to earn a living, to start a family, to run a business, your ego cannot run your life. Your ego was there to help you survive. It's like having a boat to cross a river or an ocean. You cannot carry that boat or that canoe throughout your life because it's not meant for that. So much of our society, Ladiana, doesn't understand the how the ego holds us back to live a full, satisfied, and complete and happy life. So talk to us about the because I will specify and I will delineate in this new season the different aspects of how the ego saboteurs our best laid plans.
Okay. I realized after working so much on my ego, and sometimes our own ego is the one that keeps us from becoming the best version of ourselves.
The
So
ego is a false self. It's a false
it's a
self
false
that we constructed. That we constructed.
reconstructed.
It's just like an act. The act is not the actor. The act is not the person, but we've acted all of our lives that we confuse the act with who we really are. We're much more than just the act.
We are. So what I realized that I wasn't my success, I wasn't my possessions, I wasn't my education, I wasn't my marriage, I wasn't my family. At the same time, I was everything with them.
Yes.
And because I was on spirit. For the past year and a half, I've been traveling for business, and I had a lot of time for reflection uh, because I think that one of my biggest struggles in life was letting go of everything, letting go of possessions, letting go of relationships. Because our ego tells tell us, oh, if you are married or if you are with a certain person, you are something. Um, and I completely surrender and realize that I was more than that. I was a soul living in this body that I navigate through life, where I am everything with everybody, and I am all at the same time, in a very humble way, in a very loving way. Because the ego is the one that brings the arrogance on you.
Yes. Some of you listeners out there may be in listening to Ladiana, may be where I was a month ago. Okay. I would consider that kind of talk as hippy dippy bullshit.
Mm.
Uh, but it's not. It's divine speak. It's divine speak of speaking your truths that you have toiled and you have pained in learning many times the hard way. So, Leidiana, a part of your component of your coaching is spiritual intelligence.
Yeah.
So, tell it, define for us what you consider to be spiritual intelligence.
This understanding your divine connection and walking through life with an open heart and helping others. My coaching and my consulting, like, it is being like that. And um, I believe that when you are with a pure heart to help the others, you know, and help them opening their heart, because the heart is the highest vibration. And I have come across a lot of people that they have this blockage, their heart is blocked, and they want to be very successful. Well, guess what? If you don't heal that part of you, that child or whatever it happened to you can wish to be successful, but you're not flowing. And in order for you to reach high success, your energy has to flow.
It's like watching a highly talented chef in the kitchen grab a pinch of this, grab a pinch of that, knowing the sequence that they need to follow in order to make a beautiful creation. Please, so I need to drill down
It's experiential.
and get yes, and get the recipe, get drill down into the details. So I want you to tell me, in your experience, what are the biggest obstacles to flowing with an open heart to where you're aligned to your creator and you're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. Everything that you touch turns to
Gold.
success. Yeah, turns
Yes.
to gold. Okay.
Yes.
So tell us, what are the biggest obstacles in your experience?
In my experience is negativity.
Yes. I call that stinking thinking. Okay. I worked in the criminal justice system for 10 years. You
Negative.
guys ever heard me talk about this? And the negativity with offenders that they ended up in the criminal justice system and they're out on probation is blaming everybody else, always critical of everything. One time I had one probationer that walked into my training center just complaining about anything and everything. And I listened to her. I pretended like I didn't hear her. And in the opening, that was her first day there for a 10-week training. And at the opening, I turned to her and I said, I want you to tell me who licked the red off your candy cane because you walked in here bitching about everything and complaining and it's like, do you realize that with that kind of attitude, with that kind of mentality, you are going to continue to be miserable and suffer long after you leave from this class. Now, at first, she didn't know how to take it. Let me tell you, she was a star student in this training, and her probation officer saw the transformation, and she even came to her graduation ceremony because she graduated with honors because she took ownership. She took ownership and realized that she was just going about life, just bitching about everything that was wrong in her life, never taking ownership.
State of mind. I teach one on one. I believe that in 45 days, your brain can um,
Make the switch. Yes.
switch.
The
And
science tells us that
state of mind.
yeah,
It's a state of mind. I used to carry a little a rubber band here
rubber
every
band.
time, and
Ah,
every time I was thinking something negative about whatever subject, I will hit
it just
myself.
stops.
And
Yeah.
sometime I had this red, this because I have to retrain my brain.
Yes,
And it takes me a very long time to get to it. So a state of mind is very important. It's the most important thing. State of mind about everything because we are a reflection. And if you are in a state of mind of negativity or anger, you are going to attract somebody with the same energy
absolutely.
in businesses, in relationships, in everything.
Absolutely.
So a state of mind is I think the most important. You have to retrain yourself.
I want to interject something about this. Is the principle of resonance. If you, here's the science behind it. If you hit a tuning fork, that's what in the old days was used to tune a piano or a guitar. If you hit a tuning fork and it starts vibrating, whatever chords are in the same frequency, or the chords are going to start vibrating to that sound frequency. And so this is where the law of attraction comes in. That when I first saw the movie come out, Leidiana, I wrote an entire article on why that was bullshit. Okay. Now, given the position that I was back then, there was some element of truth to what I wrote because I saw this as the biggest misinformation because it was the simple philosophy of name it and claim it, which doesn't work. Okay. Now, mind you, when the movie The Secret came out, those were very ancient esoteric principles that were spoken there
Really cool.
that are based on truth. They're based on truth, but the way that it was proposed, the methodology was flawed and it was wrong because it led to this whole massive movement of name it and claim it, and it was just one big marketing success. That was the start of virology. It was already virology was in its infancy, and I saw this as a big viral movement that people would latch onto and think that it was the secret to everything. The fact of the matter is that it was the raising of consciousness that you could have a different life other than the one that you had been living on. But you had to sign up for all the courses that cost thousands of dollars, and a lot of false prophets that came along that were out to just enrich themselves, trying to teach you basic, fundamental scriptural principles based in the power of thought and the power of intention and the power of co-creation.
It is how you feel. Your feelings are the ones who attract
Yes,
because that's
because
vibration.
your feelings,
This is your
yes,
vibration.
it's your heart.
Yeah.
It's your heart combined with your personal power, the strength of your solar plexus and the strength of your creative energy. Your creative energy, when your heart opens up and it expands and your mind doesn't get in the way, look at world.
You are, yes.
You're
You
up.
will rise. Yeah, you will fly high.
I have been there many times in my life, and I know that you have too, Leidiana.
Yes, it is. I tell people it's like riding the wave. Everything comes. It is a very beautiful state of mind. You will be, the more you feel that vibration, the more you attract.
You get addicted. You get
Get
addicted to
addicted
that
to it.
vibration.
So
Yes.
I have a complete ritual every morning when I wake up, and then I do a ritual before when I go to sleep because we have to I have to reprogram my mind every single night
Yes.
because life happens to everybody, and your sleep is has to be the most programming possible that you can do. I like I said, I'm a spiritual being, and spirituality is very important. So I feel the more spiritual and more balanced I am, my female and my masculine and feminine energy, I I can give more. I am more open and I can channel more positive and beautiful um, vibration.
So this is a preview, guys, of what is to come that Leidiana and I are going to be bringing to you. I will always nail it down to simple action steps that you can take or develop an awareness for, so that you can immerse yourself and you can get out of the darkness, living out of the darkness and step into the light. Because if you are not completely fulfilled and satisfied and at peace with yourself and your past, you're on the wrong path, brother or sister. Take notice.
I want to add this to men and women that at these moment are going through the dark night of the soul. What I want to give you courage. Um, you are exactly where you need to be so you can become the best version of yourself. I think that if somebody had gave me this message when I was going through the dark night of the soul, so I can evolve.
So, listeners, let me explain to you what Leidiana means by dark night of the soul, because I've been there. I've been there at least a couple of times. And like I tell people, I know the path to hell and back so that you don't have to go there. The dark night of the soul is when you are in so much pain and so alone. You're alone. No one else is there to comfort you. No one else is there to give you any advice. If they did, you wouldn't take it because they cannot understand the low such a low vibration that being non-existent is an alternative. I'm not talking about you having necessarily planned to commit suicide, but it's a such a low vibration that you don't want to live. In psychological terms, is called the baseline states. There's several baseline states that can take us there. And in my own personal experience, my baseline state was being rejected. Being rejected by everyone that I considered was valuable to me, that they abandoned me, they lost me, they attacked me, they tried to destroy me, and you got no one else to turn to other than yourself. And that's when, like the saying that Rumi says, "Through the deep wound is where the light comes in." So it is only by going into the dark night of the soul that you can really find your true power. You can find the light, because in that dark night of the soul, you can see all the stars, you can see all the blessings, you can see all the suns outside of yourself. When you are down to ashes, you can emerge as the phoenix to rise up above the ashes.
So what I wanted to say is that you're not alone. We are together. We've been there, and we are here. I am here to hold in a space of love and kindness, waiting for you to rise and share your experience with us. Because we, many divine feminine and masculine, have been there, and we have raised your vibration for you to come afloat stronger. All of my meditations is raising vibration with divine. So all of you that are going through the dark night of the soul and their struggles and maybe divorces and losses and businesses that you lost and money that you lost and it's sad and and you don't want even want to come out because you are so embarrassed or angry. All those feelings that you have are important. because that is what is going to allow you to rise up like a phoenix.
Exactly.
Stay strong. And if you are going to suicidal thoughts, reach out to somebody, open the door to somebody to help you. I promise you, you're going to be okay. You're going to rise up and you're going to say, this is the best thing that it happened to me.
The chances of you overcoming this are 100%.
100%. It is ugly. You're going to cry and you're going to be angry and you're going to have all of the low vibration emotions. But I promise you, when you come out of, rise up from the ashes, you're going to see a new world. And that is when you have changed your vibration into a higher vibration.
Exactly.
And that's where everything just comes.
When the star collapses, when a star collapses, it collapses so dense into a supernova.
Yes.
That,
It's going to shine brighter.
that
And the ideas and the
Yeah.
dreams and everything that you wanted to create, you will create it. Because this new vibration and this new version of you is unstoppable. And I promise you, you will create all of the things that you dream having, from relationships, from businesses, from everything. But you're going to see it as a tool for you to become a better businesswoman, businessman, and more successful so you can help others. When you go and ask our divine Father to help you come out of that darkness, He will lift you up, because I promise you, I've been there. It was ugly, it was sad, it was depressive. And I knew in my heart that it was going to be the best thing that it happened to me, so I can be balanced, so I can be humble, so I can be able to help the masses and a woman to understand that you're not alone. We are here. We are here raising the vibration for you to connect with us so we can make stronger. All of the sadness and all the deception and all the things that you've been through, we've been through that. And I promise you, it's going to be beautiful. Stay strong and dream big, because everything that you want in life, you will create it. But you need to raise your vibration and reach for divine consciousness. I tell everybody, reach for Christ, reach for Buddha, whatever faith you have. We are all connected. We are all one. And as we came out of the ashes, we rise up from the ashes. You just need to know that everything and where you are right now is exactly where you need to be so you can rise up.
Absolutely.
Because that is the only way to come into life. We can talk about a lot and what I did. I want to share with you what I did for a long time when I was going through the dark night of the soul.
Which, by the way, listeners, the dark night of the soul is the entryway, is the pathway to becoming a spiritual and mystical person, where you see the magic and everything. That is the saving grace of going through that pain. And there was another thought that came to me, Leidiana. After
And the
you go through the dark night of the soul, are you afraid of anything?
nothing. I'm fearless.
Exactly.
I am fearless. I tell my friends I have a slave demon
Yes.
and I have stepped in their head,
Uh-huh.
because where I'm going and where my Father is taking me, no one can stop it.
Exactly.
You become fearless. Nothing will stop you from becoming your best version of yourself. Never forget that you have to go through the darkness in order for you to find the true light and the strength. I travel 24 hours driving, fearless. Everybody says afraid to come drive from California to Texas, or from Atlanta or Miami to Texas. I do it. I don't have an issue. Why? Because I know that I know that where I'm going and who is going with me is bigger than you can ever imagine. and He's our Father, and all of the angels that protect me. And I know they are going to take care of me, and it's nothing going to happen to me. I mean, I did in one day, 24-hour drive. Doing a lot. I did a lot of introspection, and I did a lot of every time I stop, I did a lot of recording and things that need to be recorded because I can't text or write when I'm driving. So I did a lot of the recording, and I say thank you. Thank you for all of that women and all of those men that went and did the job for me, my ancestors. Thank you to God that He's got me by His hand, and to the women and women in this reality that they're raising up their vibration for us to thrive and reach higher dimensions and reach out for to help this world to be a better world,
Yeah.
for all of my children and grandchildren to have a better life than we did.
Now, listeners, I'm going to share with you something to translate what Leidiana is saying. I've been listening to this from different clients, different teachers since 1995 that the vibration was raising, okay? And again, in my ego state, I was saying this is hippy dippy bullshit that because I don't see any change. Well, the change was happening, but I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it because I had a low vibration. And so just recently, I looked at the science, and the science tells us that this is not pseudoscience. The vibration of the earth is changing. It's a real thing. And through this change of vibration, so are us being on the planet. Uh, we are going to through a different frequency vibration, and through this different frequency vibration is all of the changes that we see taking place in society. We also are witnessing how people are entering into a more peaceful, a more aligned state, or some people now are experiencing all kinds of physical ailments, headaches, back pains, and knee pains, because again, the vibration is becoming higher and higher. And whatever that ailment that you had in your body is now being amplified. And so it is incumbent on you to understand vibration, mindset, and again, finding your connection to God. The only path forward is for you to find your connection. Leidiana and I can only take you there so far. The rest is up to you to be able to do this. The rest is up to you to do your own work. And your own work consists of making peace with yourself, finding your inner joy, finding laughter, finding the blessings, being appreciative of the life that you have. If you have good health, be appreciative for what you have as opposed to being bitter about what you don't have. This is the time for us to be able to raise our mentality, raise our vibration, because whatever it is that you are after, you're going to be able to reach it faster as a result of being attuned, being in alignment to God's energy that is working through us with light workers as guides, as well as every one of you has a direct connection to God, to spirit, to source, however you want to call it, higher power, whatever you want to call it. If you want to call it lettuce, call it a lettuce. But for heaven's sake, know that there is something more beyond your head. Okay, that's your ego.
Now, I think that it's not difficult to raise the vibration, and wherever you are and whatever stage you are is perfect. Don't think that because we have worked over 30 years in our personal development and healing, it means that we are in a better place than you. You are in the perfect place right now. But everything starts with your state of mind and how you appreciate. I think that it's a book out there that can help you, and it's about gratitude, being grateful for even your breath. Gratitude helps you to raise your vibration.
Give
Gratitude
us the name of that book, Leidiana.
is the power, and that book is all about gratitude.
Who is the author?
I can't remember.
You can give that to me later, or I'll look it up because I'll put that in the show notes. I'll put that in the show notes so you can click on it and get that book.
Yes, it's a great book. You can start. It's very easy to read, and it's about gratitude. I remember the book many years ago, and I still have it in my house. Gratitude is it will raise your vibration and do ancestral healing. I want to share this that is being science behind. Um, a lot of us come into this reality to heal our ancestors. And it's a lot of trauma, it's a lot of things that it happened to them and it passes on for generations. It's a subject that we can do a complete.
Yes, we'll do a complete show about that. Yeah.
So start your healing. Start understanding your family dynamic.
The first step is set your intention. What
Yeah.
is it that you intend to do? Because when you set your intention, divine providence moves in. God
Yes.
sends you the resources, the teachers, the books, the YouTube videos when you set your intention. That is the first step.
I always say that, and that happened to Victor and I, when the teacher is ready, I mean, when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
I say it the other way too. When the teacher is ready, the students will appear because I wanted nothing to do with teaching anything to everybody because I was in a state of processing myself and assimilation. And again, when I'm ready, the student just appear out of nowhere.
Yes. So get ready. Get ready to an amazing life. I am leading it. I'm sharing this by experience. And I want you to dream big and put the intention of being, because sometimes what doesn't allow us to see the bigger picture are the stories and the memories from the past.
The narratives, the stories we tell ourselves, that is all fiction, okay? The stories we tell ourselves never happened. Those are all lies. Those are all lies of your conscious mind fooling you, trying to protect you from being hurt again, but that's just all lies.
Something else is very important. A teacher of mine many years ago in 2003 told me, when you walk in the elevator, be careful who you visit with you hang around. And if you walk into an elevator and the person is negative and toxic, turn around in the elevator and do not face them. And everything in life, we should do that, because when somebody has very low vibration, it's contagious. So you have to turn around and cancel that energy, because they will lower your vibration.
And the saying that the eyes are the windows to the soul, they can penetrate your soul
Yes.
with their darkness. So that was spot on advice. Don't look at them in the eyes because they can harm you.
In these conversations, even in text message, cancel.
Yes.
I honestly, when I see those text messages, I say, I'm sorry you're feeling that way. I send you love and light, and I'm cancel. Like I don't dive into the whole negativity. If you have what I did, I end the relationships. They were incredible toxic. We were in different vibrations, and the relationships for 30 years. Relationship, they were in my life for 30 years, and were the most negative people. The ones that they tell you, "Oh, you're fat. or you are this, and they're always critical about you. Um, we hang around people that they're a plus in your life, that they bring in something positive. Hang around people that inspires you. Hang around people that when you walk into their house, their eyes are bright and
Yes.
facing you and they're happy to see you. Hang around family that will empower you. And for me personally, and the relationships, even family relationships, they were not a positive influence in my life. I can have a conversation with them, but at the moment they start with something negative, I turn around and say, I'm not going to get there. I choose to be in a higher vibration.
There you have it, friends. That is Leidiana Unplugged. Leidiana, what topics are we going to cover in future episodes of this season?
Hey, so we have, just forgive me, I have to go back. It's going to be very, very empowering and beautiful. We are going to be talking about spiritual intelligence, talking about solutions.
Yes, send us your questions. All of the information is going to be in the show notes, how you can contact us and how you can connect with Leidiana also and how you can follow her. All of that information is going to be in the show notes. Leidiana, I want you to give us a short explanation of spiritual intelligence. Talk to us about that. What is spiritual intelligence?
Spiritual intelligence is the ability to connect with the spirit and seeing the world in a very spiritual way,
Okay.
helping others in their journey, in their healing journey. Spiritual intelligence is a combination of spirituality, NLP, hypnotherapy, and linguistics. It is a combination of putting all of those teachings together that it was passed on to me that I learned from my teachers and pouring into the people.
Yes. Did you ever read
30 years experience just to you, so you don't have to go and study all the things that it all of my study of this journey. I gave you a lot of time and money.
and we will be bringing you workshops. Mariana and I will be teaching. We will be doing group coaching. And of course, her and I do individual coaching privately. So you can connect with us if this resonates with you. And if you are ready, we are ready to take you on as clients to help you accelerate your journey and to find your own divine connection. Leidiana, I want to reference Scott Peck. Did you ever read him? He wrote many books. I've read many of his books. His most famous is probably The Road Less Traveled. He's deceased now, but definition of spirituality is knowing your divine coordinates. So think about that. It's knowing how in the scheme of life and time, it's like you know exactly where you are, where you need to be, where God has brought you, and where you need to go once you develop the awareness of where God is leading you.
I have something that I want to bring into about this. It's a lot of people, like I did many years ago. I was looking for my purpose. Being a businesswoman, it was very challenging to understand that I could do both because I thought in my little mind that I only can do one thing at the time. So at the time, I had like 3 companies. It was I was extremely busy, and I knew that I have a calling. I knew that I was preparing for all of those years to become the alchemist, the one that will help others um, tapping into their highest potential and finding their purpose. I knew that all of these was going to lead me to this moment, to helping others. And I remember somebody very dear to me told me, you can do it all. but I didn't know that I could do it all. So I tell you, you can do it all. We all can do it all. And finding that balance, like Victor says, the balance between the spirituality and knowledge, um, our brain, and balancing that, and help me understand that um, I could do it, that I could be the spiritual teacher, that I could be the alchemist, that I can be the businesswoman at the same time, and the mom and the sister and the friend. I want to tell all the women out there that they're struggling with that, like I did. You can do it. You can be the businesswoman. You can be the spiritual alchemist, and you can do anything you want. It's just you need to tell yourself, I can do it.
Yes.
And not only that, what is it that you want to do? And if you haven't found your calling and you're struggling like I did, reach out to me. I will help you, because that takes a lot of time and energy so you can focus on what's important in your life.
So, listeners, she's an alchemist. I've been called a wizard for being able to make changes in a relatively short time. So imagine having an alchemist that can combine different elements and turn them into gold, and having a wizard that can help you make that happen by giving you the methodology, by removing whatever barrier is in front of you. This is the best of both worlds. And that is why I'm so excited to start this journey with Leidiana in helping you to use her words to be the best that you can be. Any final words, Leidiana?
That you are enough. One of the struggles in humanity is thinking that when you have everything, when you have the house, when you have the business, when you have the money, you are going to be. So, you know, right now, wherever you are in life, it doesn't matter. Maybe you have $5 in your pocket, $1 or 5 cents, whatever. You are already enough and you are everything.
Amen. Money will come and go, relationships will come and go, companies will come and go, but you are the only constant. You are enough, to echo what Leidiana said.
Reach out to us. I will be very happy to hear your comment and what topics you would like to hear. I have so many tools that we can help you with, that we have really refined, and we have programs that we're going to be working so we can help you, and you don't have to go and take all of those 30 years and knocking your head in the wall like I did, and knocking a lot of doors, and slamming our faces. But we already did all of that. We already did all the work for you. I'm very happy to see you next week. Let's make this an amazing space for you to can share your experiences and where you are in life, so we can help you.
Let's make magic.
Let's make magic. Yes, absolutely.
We're going to leave it there, friends. Until next week, go out and have a great week.